So, you don't believe in aliens, eh? What are you, stupid? I've seen them, they're all around us. Studying, watching NASCAR. They're even inside our precious little video games. Don't believe me? You'll see.
The Zelda series is no doubt one of Nintendo's greatest. If you've played one, I'm sure you know just how creepy they can be. And if you're looking for the creepiest, then look no further than Majora's Mask. Within the first few minutes you're turned into a Deku shrub, and your only hope of returning back to normal is left in the hands of this guy. To top it all off, the moon now has a face, and in 3 days it's going to fall and kill everyone. But despite this, I feel there's something even creepier, and it only exists for a very short time in one of the many side quests. So, let's begin. Quite early on in the game, you'll come across the Romani Ranch. You won't be able to get in right away because a giant boulder blocks the path, but if you just happen to have a Gorman mask, then you can blast it away using the Gorman keg. And if you don't have a Gorman mask, you're screwed. Once the boulder is removed, you can follow the path to the ranch. It's a pretty big area, in fact it's mostly a big field used for cattle grazing. But either way, it's all owned by two sisters. Meet Crimea and Romani. These are actually two of my favourite Zelda characters, and notice how they wear Bowser brooches. Pretty cool, right? They work here selling milk, but due to their rare cows, it's the best milk around. Much to the dismay of their rivals, the Gorman Brothers.
It's so good. It's the best in your face.
Crimea's pretty ordinary, but if you speak to Romani, you will see that she's more than a little weird. She always speaks in third person, which confused the hell out of me, but more interestingly is the fact that she has a weird obsession with these supposed ghosts. According to Romani, these ghosts show up once a year to take the cows away. But personally, I don't buy it. I think something else is going on here. Something a bit more rivalry. So at night you can sometimes accompany Crimea as she makes her delivery, and you'll find out that she too doesn't believe in Romani's ghosts. On the way to town, the path will be blocked by a fence, forcing you to go through the Gorman Brothers ranch. Whilst passing through, you're chased by two odd figures that attack the cart and seem to be aiming for Creamia's milk pot. After a few arrows to the face, they'll give up and Creamia will successfully deliver the milk. Now looking around in the morning, you'll easily be able to tell that the figures from last night were in fact the Gorman Brothers, and in case there was any doubt, if you beat them in a race, they'll even give you one of the masks they were wearing. So I honestly thought that the Gorman Brothers were just messing around at the ranch, and due to their masks, Romani had just mistaken them for ghosts. But because I knew better, I went back to the ranch to help Romani out. I mean, I wasn't just going to let her deal with this by herself. What do you think I am? Wait. What? This is where you realise that something is taking the cows. And whatever they are, they're unlike any other Zelda enemy. For starters, the only way to stop them is to shoot them with an arrow, and although it doesn't permanently kill them, any other method of attack is useless. They don't even acknowledge a blow from a Gorman roar at full speed. Another thing that makes them different is that you can't target them. Every other enemy in the game is targetable. Heck, even signs can be targeted, so why not these guys? The creepiest thing of all is that they don't even care about you. If you stand by them, they'll just float past you, like you're not even there. Clearly, Link is no threat to them. If you defend the barn long enough, the sun will rise, making them disappear. But should you fail, the aliens will abduct the cows and Romani. And though they do return her the next day, she isn't quite herself. She wanders the ranch and doesn't speak at all, even sleeping at one point. If you wait until the final day, she can talk again, but she'll be confused, sometimes holding her head in pain. I'm no expert, but this does not sound like the work of ghosts. But in that case, what did do this? Well, that's the big mystery. They don't have an official name, and even when the game tells you they've arrived, it simply says they came. Due to the fact they have a spaceship-like thing, I always called them aliens, and I'm pretty sure they are. But regardless, what do they want with the cows? Why only once every year? Unfortunately, I don't actually know, but I do have a theory on where they might be taking them. Whilst wandering Termina Field, you can sometimes come across small holes in the ground, and more often than not they'll contain gossip stones. But on the odd occasion, you can find cows. Now, as far as I can tell, they don't serve any purpose, but I can't see a cow coming down here all by itself, so maybe this is where the aliens take them. It's a stretch, sure, but isn't it strange how the only exit is just one beam of light? Sort of like a tractor beam, isn't it? If you don't think they're aliens, let's try and figure out who they're not. Our first suspects are the Gorman Brothers. They hate the ranch, so it would make sense that they would want to steal their cows, but there's way too many of them for it to be possible. The second suspect is Skull Kid. He's mischievous and his motives aren't always clear. I mean, he turned this guy into a kid just because he could. But it can't be him either, because Romani says they come every year, which must mean that they've come at least 2 years prior, and 2 years ago, Skull Kid didn't have Majora's mask, so again, it can't be him. So there's no clues as to who or what they are, meaning it's entirely possible that they are actual aliens. But maybe you aren't convinced yet. Maybe it's because the idea of aliens and space travel inside a Zelda game seems a bit out of place, and yeah, I'll admit that it does. But check this out. If you go to the bomb shop, you can see blueprints for rockets all over the place, even a plan to go to the moon. But if that still isn't solid enough proof, how about an actual rocket? Don't believe me? Well, remember that thing the bomb shop owner walks out from? That's a rocket. For space. Speaking of space, I want to talk about the stars in this game. When it gets late, you'll no doubt notice that there are stars in the sky. But if you take the time to actually look up at them, you might notice constellations like Orion's Belt or the Big Dipper. Most of these stars are white or blue, but there is a single red star. It's one of the brightest stars in the sky, and at first it might not seem so different from the others. But then, as I was looking at it, the red star disappeared, so I began to investigate. I found that it doesn't matter where you are. A little after 2 AM, the red star does disappear. But no big deal, right? It's not as if they come just as the star disappears. Oh, my bad. Looks like they really are aliens. Huh. So, the next time you're playing Majora's Mask, just know that wherever you are, or whatever you're doing, you're always being watched.
So there you have it. Aliens in Zelda. Sleep tight.